Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time.
I feel like as though we have like a new beginning, and it's beautiful. You know, we're still blessed, and I mean, we've had our loss, but we're finding our way.
Katt Williams, never one to shy away from controversy, is back in the headlines, this time with explosive allegations about the dark underbelly of Hollywood fame. He claims that certain powerful figures demand unimaginable sacrifices from those seeking stardom, and that speaking out against this system leads to swift and brutal repercussions, literally getting punched in the face. While Beyoncé's alleged sacrifices have been a topic of discussion, Williams suggests Jennifer Hudson's story is even more tragic. Despite the immense personal loss Hudson has endured, she maintains a positive outlook. This stark contrast between her public persona and Williams's claims sets the stage for a disturbing examination of the price of fame. The tragic events of October 24, 2008, forever cast a shadow over Jennifer Hudson's life and career. That day, the unthinkable happened. The bodies of her mother, Darnell Donnerson, and her brother, Jason Hudson, were discovered in the family's Chicago home. Both had been fatally shot. The horror of the situation was amplified by the immediate disappearance of 7-year-old Julian King, the son of Jennifer's sister, Julia. The South Side community, already grappling with its share of violence, was rocked by the news, and the nation mourned alongside the rising star. The search for Julian became a frantic race against time, gripping headlines and capturing the hearts of millions. The image of a distraught Jennifer Hudson joining family members in pleading for Julian's safe return became a symbol of the devastating impact of this senseless crime. The discovery of Julian's body 3 days later, also having been shot, brought the nightmare to a devastating conclusion. This horrific triple homicide left an enduring scar on the Hudson family. The discovery of 7-year-old Julian King's body just 3 days after the initial murders compounded the Hudson family's unimaginable grief. Found shot to death in the back seat of an SUV parked on Chicago's west side, Julian's fate brought a tragic end to the desperate search. The vehicle was later identified as belonging to Jennifer's brother, Jason Hudson, one of the initial victims. Adding another layer to the investigation, .45 caliber handgun was recovered near the abandoned SUV and subsequently linked by ballistics testing to all 3 murders. A second gun was also discovered in a vacant lot in the same West Side neighborhood, further deepening the mystery surrounding the crime. This horrific tragedy transcended local news, captivating national attention largely due to Jennifer Hudson's celebrity status. Her meteoric rise to fame, beginning with her powerful performances on American Idol and culminating in an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress in the 2007 film Dreamgirls, placed her family's tragedy squarely in the public eye. The nation watched in horror as the vibrant young star grappled with an unimaginable loss, forever linking her personal story to this devastating crime. The investigation into the Hudson family murders immediately zeroed in on William Balfour, Julia Hudson's estranged husband. Balfour, who had been married to Julia since 2006 but was separated from her at the time of the killings, was brought in for questioning mere hours after the bodies of Darnell and Jason Hudson were discovered. While initially held for 48 hours on a suspected parole violation unrelated to the murders, his connection to the Hudson family made him a prime suspect. He was subsequently transferred to the custody of the Illinois Department of Corrections, where he remained under intense scrutiny. Reports emerged painting a troubled picture of Balfour's relationship with the Hudson family. He had reportedly been forced to leave the family home by Darnell Donnerson, Julia's mother, in the winter of 2007, suggesting a strained and potentially volatile dynamic. Despite vehemently denying any involvement in the murders and refuting witness statements alleging he had been seen with a gun, Balfour remained at the center of the investigation. His prior criminal history, which included a significant prison sentence of nearly 7 years for a combination of violent offenses, attempted murder, vehicular hijacking, and possession of a stolen vehicle, cast a long shadow over his claims of innocence. The fact that he was out on parole at the time of the murders further intensified public suspicion and raised serious concerns about the potential failings of the parole system in adequately monitoring individuals with violent pasts. The gravity of William Balfour's criminal background came into even sharper focus as the investigation progressed. The question loomed large. How could someone with such a violent history be allowed back into society, and more importantly, back into the lives of the Hudson family? The tragedy reignited debates about parole policies and the protection of domestic violence victims. Balfour's arrest and subsequent charges in December 2008 marked a critical turning point in the case. Charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of home invasion, he was held without bail. Prosecutors argued that Balfour's motive was rooted in jealousy and rage, claiming that he snapped upon learning that Julia Hudson was dating another man. According to the prosecution, this jealousy was the catalyst for a horrifying sequence of events. Balfour allegedly went to the Hudson home on the morning of October 24, 2008, armed and ready to confront the family. When he didn't find Julia at home, prosecutors said he turned his rage on her mother and brother, shooting them in cold blood before abducting little Julian. The chilling timeline laid out by authorities painted a picture of calculated violence. After killing Donnerson and Jason Hudson, Balfour is believed to have taken Julian in Jason's SUV, later executing the child and abandoning the vehicle on Chicago's west side. The brutality of the crime shocked even seasoned investigators. The evidence against Balfour continued to mount. In addition to the ballistics that linked the .45 caliber handgun to all three murders, witness testimony placed him near the scene of the crimes. Forensic evidence and surveillance footage helped build a case that prosecutors claimed was airtight. Yet, despite the seemingly overwhelming evidence, Balfour maintained his innocence throughout. His defense team insisted that he was being framed, and they pointed to the lack of direct physical evidence, such as DNA or fingerprints, linking him to the murders. The absence of this type of evidence became a cornerstone of the defense's strategy as the trial approached. Emotions ran high. The Hudson family, devastated but determined, prepared for a legal battle that would force them to relive the most traumatic event of their lives. Jennifer Hudson, despite her fame, chose to sit through every day of the trial, providing a quiet but powerful presence in the courtroom. Her testimony was both heartbreaking and courageous. She spoke about the close-knit nature of her family and described the last time she saw her mother, brother, and nephew alive. Her emotional strength became a focal point of media coverage, drawing attention once again to the human cost behind the headlines. The prosecution's case leaned heavily on circumstantial evidence, but it was compelling. Witnesses testified that Balfour had made threats in the past, including statements that he would kill members of the Hudson family if Julia ever left him. The timeline of his movements on the day of the murders, pieced together through phone records and eyewitness accounts, further strengthened the prosecution's narrative. One key witness recalled seeing Balfour near the location where Julian's body was eventually found. Another testified that he saw Balfour driving the SUV later discovered with Julian's body in the back seat. These testimonies, while not direct proof, painted a damning picture of Balfour's actions. The defense, however, remained steadfast in their claim that Balfour was being used as a scapegoat. They questioned the reliability of the witnesses and suggested that law enforcement had focused too quickly on Balfour without adequately exploring other leads. It was a classic battle of circumstantial evidence versus reasonable doubt. Ultimately, the jury found the prosecution's case persuasive. In May 2012, after years of waiting and weeks of emotional testimony, William Balfour was found guilty on all counts: 3 counts of first-degree murder, home invasion, residential burglary, and aggravated kidnapping. The verdict was met with a mix of relief and sorrow. Justice had been served, but it could never bring back what had been lost. The courtroom was filled with tears, some from grief, others from the overwhelming weight of finally seeing accountability delivered. To his sentencing, Balfour showed little remorse. The judge handed down 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, ensuring he would spend the rest of his life behind bars. The severity of the sentence reflected not only the brutality of the crime but also the emotional toll it had taken on the victim's loved ones. Jennifer Hudson released a statement expressing gratitude to the prosecution team and the community for their support. She emphasized that her family's legacy would live on through the work she continued to do in their memory, including launching the Julian D. King Gift Foundation in honor of her nephew. Despite the finality of the verdict, questions and controversies lingered. Some critics argued that the case relied too heavily on circumstantial evidence, while others pointed out inconsistencies in the timeline and gaps in the forensic trail. To this day, some conspiracy theorists claim the full truth has never been revealed. Rumors circulated that Balfour may not have acted alone, or that the murders were part of a broader plot involving outside parties. These claims, though unsubstantiated, fueled online discussions and documentary speculations, particularly given Jennifer Hudson's fame and connection to the entertainment industry. In recent years, interest in the case has resurged, especially in light of Katt Williams' controversial claims about the sacrifices demanded of celebrities. His allusions to Hudson's tragedy have sparked renewed debates about the costs of fame and whether deeper forces were at play. While there is no credible evidence linking the Hudson family murders to anything beyond a domestic dispute turned deadly, the case remains a touchstone in discussions about celebrity, tragedy, and justice. For many, it serves as a painful reminder of the vulnerability of even the most beloved public figure. Hudson has continued to thrive professionally. She's won a Daytime Emmy, a Grammy, and a Tony Award, joining the exclusive club of EGOT winners. But despite her accolades, she often speaks about the enduring pain of her loss and the importance of using her platform for good. Her foundation, community outreach, and advocacy for stronger gun control laws are part of her effort to ensure that Julian, Darnell, and Jason's memories are not defined solely by their tragic end. She has turned her pain into purpose, a beacon of resilience in the face of unspeakable loss. Meanwhile, William Balfour remains incarcerated, with no possibility of parole and no chance of appealing his sentence. His name, once splashed across headlines, has faded from the public consciousness, but his actions have left an irreversible mark. The Hudson family murders stand as one of the most shocking celebrity-adjacent crimes of the 21st century. They raised critical questions about domestic violence, parole reform, and the treatment of trauma in the public eye. The criminal justice system may have delivered a verdict, but the emotional and psychological aftermath continues for those left behind. For Jennifer Hudson and her sister Julia, healing is ongoing, a process complicated by fame, media scrutiny, and the permanence of their loss. Some say the story ended with Balfour's sentencing. Others believe it's far from over. As long as people continue to speculate, theorize, and revisit the events of that fateful October day, the story will live on, both as a cautionary tale and a symbol of strength. What Katt Williams has done is reopen wounds many thought were healing. Whether his claims hold any truth or are merely conspiracy-fueled speculation, they forced a fresh look at the tragedy and the price that may come with fame. In the end, only the people closest to the tragedy know the full truth. But the public's fascination, fueled by media, conspiracy, and celebrity culture, ensures that the story of Jennifer Hudson's unimaginable loss will never truly fade away.